Hello, Flight Sim fans, and welcome to the Practically Geek channel. In today's video, I've landed in the north of New Zealand's South Island to explore Nelson Airport by NZA Simulations. You can purchase this add-on from their website directly or from the Orbex store via their central software. I will leave a link for both of those in the description down below.
United Tango Victor, Roger, runway 09, clear for takeoff, surface wind 150 degrees, 4 knots.
Runway 09, clear for takeoff, easy 93 Tango Victor.
Nelson Airport November Zulu November Sierra is located 6 kilometers or 3.7 miles southwest of central Nelson in the suburb of Ansbrook and is the 6th busiest airport in New Zealand for passenger numbers. But more interestingly, it is the busiest of all New Zealand airports for non-international services. Air New Zealand, Origin Air and Sounds Air are amongst the carriers at Nelson, flying to different destinations around New Zealand like Auckland, Christchurch and Wellington, plus many more. As always, it's my pleasure to bring you another in-depth look at a Microsoft Flight Simulator scenery, which I've been looking forward to showing. As you know, I went missing for a while and my channel wasn't active for over a year. I missed many great add-on releases, but I wanted to still create these videos for them, as I know many other people have also missed out on them. So let's take a look at what Nelson Airport likes before the add-on is installed, and then we'll have a good look around the NZA Simulations scenery to see what they've managed to do with this airport. Firstly, I must admit the default scenery isn't too bad from up here. The past couple of airports I've looked at, the buildings and overall look of the scenery have been okay, and it seems the default sceneries within the simulator are getting better. The usual patchy apron and taxiway textures are still present, of course, but in terms of the general layout, the sim has managed to give us a fairly usable Nelson Airport. I was expecting to see the old terminal building alongside the new one which opened in October 2019, but it isn't here. I also like how the AutoGen has tried to mimic the zigzag shape of that new terminal, which is quite good to see. Equally, I was wondering how many buildings would be missing or look like UK-style terraced housing. But apart from the odd small one here and there around the general aviation area, it's really not too bad here at the default Nelson Airport. With all that being said, let's head into the NZA Simulations add-on to take a better look at their Proline Series Nelson Airport to see just how much they've improved this scenery. Welcome back to Nelson Airport here in New Zealand. While I check in for my flight, let's take a look around this NZA simulation scenery and see what upgrades they have made to this airport. And spoiler alert, they have made a lot of changes and the interior to this building is really stunning. Starting with a look from above them, we can see everything has been changed within the airport boundaries, including some nearby buildings. The ground textures look exceptional, as do the taxiways and markings, which don't look too bright or unrealistic, but rather look weathered in places, giving a much more true-to-life appearance. All auto-generated buildings have been replaced, and we now get the handcrafted replicas which look the same as they do at Nelson. The two bigger hangars along with the new terminal building look really fabulous. We will of course be getting a better look at them, as well as a tour around the interior, which has been modelled to shockingly high standards. Further along we have the Nelson Aviation building, which also houses the Air New Zealand cargo, and just behind there we can see some static models of Air New Zealand ATR 72s and Dash 8 aircraft. Taking a closer look at the general aviation area of the airport, we can see many hangars lining the small taxiway. The buildings, of course, matching the real ones present here at Nelson, with great levels of detail including dirt, rust and ground clutter. Once again, in true NZA fashion, we get an exceptional amount of custom signage within this scenery, like this Nelson Aero Club one, the Air Rescue Service sign, the Field Air sign, the Rad Nelson sign, this emergency stop sign, a thrifty sign, the Tasman aviation sign, this Origin Air sign, a no entry sign, the Hertz sign, this Apex car rental sign, this aerial surveys sign, the Air Cadets sign, the helicopters Nelson sign, and this danger keep out sign. Is that going to be a thing every time I look at an NZA simulation scenery? I think so. Making our way towards the main apron and terminal at Nelson, we can find the rescue helicopters hangar with these static BK-117 helicopters. I really like the detail in the paintwork on the logo on top of the hangar. It looks very well weathered and in need of a touch-up. A lovely detail there, and one you will see while taxiing out of this area. As we move along, we can see the control tower and terminal building coming into view. I do love the variations in hangars here. This large one with its red roof stands out from the rest, and alongside it we can see a detailed selection of ground clutter surrounded by weeds growing from the tarmac. The Nelson helicopter building has been modelled really well, with a small waiting room interior for added detail. The ground textures around the helicopter apron are great, and we can see the team have added a nice amount of dirt to the textures here for added realism. Just further along from the Nelson helicopter building is what looks like a quiet engine test area, although I could be wrong as it seems a bit too low down, but please let me know in the comments if I've got that correct. We have more nicely placed ground clutter, and it's great to see the tarmac textures for the landside areas also match the same quality as the airside. The Air New Zealand maintenance hangars look absolutely amazing. You can see the interiors have been modelled for both, with the open hangar having that extra bit of clutter to make it feel more alive. We have more high resolution signs for the facility, and I love how the sun reflects off this one as we fly by. The building texturing is great, with bits of dirt gathering between the metalwork, and again the apron below has a great amount of discoloration, which looks very good. Before we take a closer look at the terminal, let's have a quick look at the car park, which as you can tell looks excellent. The markings are fresh due to the area only being a few years old, and I really like the zones for the baggage carts, which have also been modelled. Each area of the car park has its own custom sign and post. I particularly like the animated New Zealand flag on this footpath that leads towards the car park. Notice how good the animation is here, and it doesn't look choppy or appear like it's rendered with low frame rates. The hangar for the Air New Zealand Cargo and Nelson Aviation College has been done to a high standard as well. We get more interior modelling for the entrance area, and although it's a partial interior, it still looks great with custom advertisements and a waiting area. The open hangar here looks amazing. We can see things like the Air New Zealand cargo containers, a pallet truck, a traffic cone, and what looks like a small GPU off to the right there. I especially like the ground textures in here with the bits of cracked tiling and dirt. Of course, NZA did include the bike hire container here. The custom signage looks very crisp, and the mountain bikes lined up along the wall are modelled very well. We will actually get to see the terminal, guys, don't worry. I just wanted to show you this building, which is the management building, which the AutoGen didn't render in for some reason. NZA have made sure that it's present within their scenery, and like all the other handcrafted buildings in this add-on, it has been made to match the real life one here at Nelson. Finally, we are at the new terminal building here at Nelson. Let's start landside and make our way through the interior onto the airside area. As I mentioned before, the new terminal opened in 2019 along with a brand new road leading to it. There was also a car park built for rental vehicles. The new building will cater for the growth projections out to 2035, when 1.4 million passengers a year are forecast to pass through the facility. The first thing you'll see when entering the interior is this amazingly rendered check-in area with all these self-check-in machines along with some people. There are also these really high-resolution arrival and departure screens, which are so detailed you can see the airline logos, times and destinations on them. The Nelson Store, McCashin's Bar, Sublime Coffee, and the airport lounge have all been modelled, and it's just incredible to behold. The baggage claim area is fully animated with people waiting for their luggage. I also really like the animated advertisement boards which display real high resolution pictures of different locations in New Zealand. It would be rude for me not to show you the exquisite roofing structure recreated by NZA. I've seen a lot of airports being modelled with interiors on this sim, but this one has to be up there for being the most realistic. NZA Simulations have modelled this terminal so authentically, it's almost like we are there. The building looks exactly like the rear one, and if you want proof, then take a look at these photos I've taken from the official Nelson Airport website. Outside on the apron, it's the same story. Authenticity is amazing here. The barrier post even has an Air New Zealand logo on it. There's an Air New Zealand buggy park just beside this ATR aircraft. And this boarding ramp is a really neat touch. The ground clutter in this scenery is just fantastic, and looking over us to the right we can see the Nelson control tower, which weirdly wasn't present within the default scenery. The glass structure housing the staircase beside the tower is just insane. The model work and texturing that have gone into creating this must have taken some time. Like their past releases, NZA have included an interior to the control tower, and just like before, we are getting a great level of detail. I never thought I'd be saying this about a scenery, but the carpet textures look very real. You can almost see the fibers in them. Along the desk, we have different monitors displaying airport charts, the weather radar, and also the NZA Facebook page. I love the little touches here like the NZA mouse mat and mugs, as well as various documents, the radios, and the pens littered on the different surfaces throughout the interior. At a glance, it does look like Nelson Airport has one runway, but in fact it also has two grass strips just beside the asphalt runway. These have been retextured and look more defined within the add-on, unlike before when the grass almost blended in with the grass strips. So what does the night lighting look like in this NZA Simulations scenery? Well, let's roll back our watches and clocks to 1 AM and see just what it looks like. Doesn't that look fantastic? You can see the interiors of the entrance and hangar illuminated realistically, and I love how the hangar floor is reflecting the interior lighting along with those apron lights that shine down on the floor below. Making our way from right to left, up above we can see the terminal is lit up really well from inside. The prominent purple spotlight illuminating the control tower looks amazing. The Air New Zealand maintenance hangars aren't giving off as much light as I would have thought, but the light from inside the hangar does look really good. The general aviation area has a nice mixture of different lights. The more yellow hue of some of the hangars in contrast to the other white lights gives a great depth to the scenery at night. The Nelson Aero Club hangar looks great at night. The interior lighting really makes the metal structure and this Pacific Aerospace Cresco stand out with great reflections and detail. The lighting within the control tower is equally excellent. You can see long purple bulbs lighting the stairway, and the illumination from the monitors and even the printer under the desk is really great. And of course, the terminal looks brilliant at night. The way you can see right through to landside while the interior absorbs the realistic lighting from the signs, the advertisement boards and the ceiling lights is just stunning. I think NZA have done a absolutely amazing job with the night lighting. The task of these developers is to obviously improve the airports within the simulator, but to also give us a more true-to-life replica of those airports, and I think the team have definitely succeeded here. To get a better idea of the changes NZA Simulations have made to the scenery, let's take a look at the scenery before the add-on is installed while showing you the Nelson Airport Payware in split screen. That's right, it is time for another before and after montage. I really hope you enjoy it. Nelson Airport by NZA Simulations is available to purchase from their website directly or from the Orbex store. It's worth pointing out that currently you can get this for just under £10 via Orbex with their 40% off sale. That's around €12 or 18 Australian dollars or 12 US dollars. Normally the price for this add-on is around £18, 30 Australian dollars or 20 US dollars. These are all estimates given from Orbex, and I would usually recommend buying straight from NZA, but for the next few days don't miss out on this offer as it will end soon. Something you may not know and have failed to mention in my Mount Cook scenery video is that the talented Sergio Del Rosso, who I've previously featured on my channel for his excellent freeware, is now part of the NZA Simulations team and has worked with them since last October. As for Nelson Airport, well, it's another great scenery from NZA Simulations. Attention to detail, as always, is fantastic. There is a great level of detail within this scenery. It makes it very realistic. There's also nearby landmarks included within the scenery, like Nelson Fun Park, Boulder Bank Lighthouse, Grampians Radio Tower, and the Mitre 10 Megastore. Combine this with the amazing Motueka Airfield by NZA, which is free of course. I will leave a link above so you can watch my video on that after this video. It makes a great short hop between the two lovely add-on airports here in the north of New Zealand's South Island. If you have enjoyed this video, please give it a massive like and please consider subscribing to the Practically Geek channel for more Microsoft Flight Simulator content just like this. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again very soon.